Hey, what's up guys, June here. In today's video, we're going over the week of February 7th, 2022. This week finished up on plus 1.58 stops. Most of the trades were not too bad, so let's go over what happened. First trade, over here we have a short in the Russell. This was the context of the flow being down. In the 20-minute, I had this as the value area. Overall here seemed like a good idea where to go short from, or where to decide, okay, when is the market going down from where it's going up. At this point here, we have natural sellers. What is natural sellers? It's just where they appear most likely, or where they appeared the most. So in this case, it was along this line here, and I decided that this was a wash. So this was in support of the POC with a wash of natural sellers. And we have an expansion. So the flow is this blue leg expands. Saw this kind of as a 1-2 waves and entered right here. Arguably, maybe the trade was right here with a stop up here. And if that doesn't go from this point on, then it's something else. Nevertheless, I took the trade and it didn't work out. Next up we have, is it a continuation of this here? No, I think this is a different day. Anyways, we have a 20-minute POC, and I was willing to see if it were to break out of it, double breakout, wash, whatever. In this case, I was looking for a double breakout. I was looking to enter right here, except this was a no-fill, and it was just 2 ticks away. I have to zoom in a bit more, but nothing I can do about that. Perhaps I can play it a bit higher up, seeing how the kill zone's really right here. This is really bar level stuff, but anyway, a no-fill. I'm not too sure if this one went to target. It may have came back to stop me out, but a little quick trade here would have worked. Anyways. Okay, here we have the MES. This is on February 7th. This was a no-fill as well. At this point, we have, oh, do I not have, I guess I don't have it. Okay, I don't have the 20-minute. Anyways, on the 20-minute, it's not really doing much. We have a POC level up here it reached, then I come back down here. This blue line is the immediate POC, so the counter directional POC or value area, I expect to bounce off of it, maybe to target. We can even trade through it, so that's fine, opposed to the POCs with direction. At this point here, the market's not really doing anything, right? It's just going up. Okay, there's kind of these minor swings, expand, maybe it's going, maybe there was a bigger flow somewhere else. So at this point, I'm waiting for something to happen, meaning I'm waiting for frequency to take over in some sort of direction. Till then, nothing happens. And at this point here, it goes up 1, 2, 3. So once it kind of bounces here and starts bouncing up, at this point, the range becomes more crystalline, and that's something I can use. Either I break to the upside, back up to the top, or in this case, a wash, go short to target down here. Unfortunately, I did not get filled. And this was the pivot I was leaning on for it to kind of come down, because this is the point where it exploded. It came here, okay, stalled a bit, then zoomed. Even at this point, it broke, so this would be more of a subtle swing entry, if anything. And I have my stop above the wash, as it is a subtle swing, and there's no other previous pivots to bank on. So the entire wash was the stop. Unfortunately, I didn't get filled. Did this go to target? I believe it did. It went to target and then it continued further. So very interesting. There you go, another no-fill. Okay, so we have another MES trade. This is, okay, so this could be akin to the 20-minute, I think. Yeah. So this is where I tried to enter on. Yeah, I tried to enter on right here. See, it expanded to the bottom of here. I went back up. Anyways, to go back on this specific trade, the market's down. It's holding down. I saw this kind of a breakout. This doesn't help. So again, be mindful of washes on POCs maybe. However, this is immediate POC, so I'm not as tough on it. I don't recall what happened after this. However, the trade was there, so that was that. It almost tried to go. This was a cash stop. Almost worked out, or it tried to work out. It did not happen. I saw this as potentially washing back up. Okay, so this was the wash of this, so I'm expecting, okay, can this go up? No, goes back down. However, at this point here, we don't have, oh no, we do. So broke out here, retrace, short. Can it go long? No. So this was the place for me where it had to go out, and here the wash didn't hold going down. Okay, yeah, I recall this now. Unfortunately, this didn't go at this moment. Does it go further? I'm not too sure. But that was the trade and it didn't work out. Next up, we have the MES. So this is the context. Okay, yeah, so it ended up not working out and just going up. Once it beats this POC, I declare it to the upside. Over here, we have a breakout range. So I'm considering the expansion, just looking at it, not much in terms of right side entries. No two-wave pullbacks, nothing's really clear. Yeah, there was a subtle swings, but I don't enter on subtle swings for the expansion idea. If I enter on subtle swings, it's because there's some other thing. So a complete swap, or gap swap, and maybe it builds something a bit bigger. I don't rely solely on swings and the subtle swing entry type. Anyways, bounced up here, bounced down here, comes back here. And at this point, it's like, okay, range, breakout range. Let's see what happens. Pokes. I'm looking for a potential wash. It launched from here or here, whatever, pick your fancy. I'd say this was the controlling pivot. So I'm looking a break of this one. Instead, it does not do that. Comes all the way back up. I'm like, all right, double breakout. What ended up happening? Comes here. Bounces. I'm buying the kill zone with a stop behind the absolute swing for an expansion up to the double range. What happened? Did not. So at this point, this is what you call a failed breakout, which leads me into the next trade, which was this one. Unfortunately, I didn't take profits. So straight on the backside, I take the short. Where did they throw it off? Well, they threw it off right here. What is this part of? This press. So I just put the stop behind everything here. I didn't decide to put it in the middle. Arguably you could. However, I'm finding if a piece of the pivot that really broke it is close to absolute structure, then put it up here. Comes here, 1, 2, 3. Now this is interesting because my management currently calls fair to launches. I can take exits on it. So I could take an exit here. But arguably, there's 3 failures to launch over here, right? It comes back 1, 2, 3. So which one do you go for? This is a mean reverting market. Seemingly for mean reverting ideas, failures to launch might be a good thing. I'm not 100% sure, but the idea is being workshopped over time. So what about the target? I was aiming for double the range. Well, seeing how there's an entire upflow, maybe just down to here is good enough. Why? Because it's a counter-directional idea with no supporting POC. If this was against a 20-minute POC, then maybe. However, this is in the face of this direction, right? All this directionality, maybe just a short little profit is good enough. So mean reverting reverting ideas unless in support of a 20-minute POC, go for conservative targets. Simple enough, it's rational, right? It's against this overall momentum. First target, especially here, there's already enough. Anyway, on to the next trade. Okay, so the context of this one is an expansion. Oh, there we go. Over here, it decided to go down, right? We had a possible POC here. I think it was here. Yeah, it was here or even here. Well, this one didn't really achieve much. So I'd say the POC is honestly at this point here. It busted through it, it bounced up, came back down. So now the directionality is to the downside. Whereas these POCs, well, we have one up here, potentially one up here. This one seemed good enough. And what happened? Well, on the frequency, it was doing these kind of little guys, right? 1, 2, 3, bam, expanded. Kind of like a 1, 2 wave pullback. It stretched a bit. It stretched out a bit, but it was okay. And where did it fall into? Well, it fell into right in the POC. So this is good enough to take the trade. Now, exactly how did I take this trade? This one was nerve-wracking, but I took it, surprisingly. So over here, I have a one-line balance. This one is it's not a traditional one-line balance, so I put it in brown. But what did it end up doing? It started flowing down. So at that point there, I'm like, okay, well, could I afford to stop higher up? Not really. Do I really know what's happening? No. So let's wait for a right side entry. So what ended up happening? Well, I'm following this blue leg down. So this would be the LSB based on the gap. It's not the entire one, but anyways, these things are not super precise. 1, 2, comes back up, comes in the kill zone, which is normal. It did this before. And we have a one line balance. It flipped it. Took the short. This is more of a subtle swing entry. Again, this is not an expansion. This is on more of a standard idea. So I can pull off some subtle swing entries. That's what I did. Stopped behind it. Tried. That's the first attempt. Second attempt. Okay, now it's achieving. Goes up. Okay. Well, I didn't break it, so I'm not reducing my risk as of yet. Keeps on going down. Okay, I reduced risk here. Decide to reduce risk some more. And it kept going. I decided to take it to the kill zone right here because it was already 5-1 at that point. Well, it was 5.68 to 1. So that was pretty nice. Ended up going a lot further down, but you know what? This is good enough. Plus, it came up and would have stopped me out. So overall, I like this management. Seems okay. The expansion idea, the type of management, I am workshopping a bit. Seemingly holding the stop all the way above the expansion pivot is not the best idea, only for maybe the initial swap. So say I had conviction and I want to short this. Well, in that case, I could put my stop behind here. But as soon as it starts flowing down, we have 2 confirmed swings. Okay, this is the frequency it's doing. So put my stop behind here and it keeps going, keeps going. In this case, it started merging this type of frequency. So this stop management, not too sure about it. But anyways, I did what I did. And going forward, we'll continue paying attention to the expansion swing, the expansion idea, and seeing how that plays out. Okay, so what is this one? M&Q. And what's the context for this? Okay, it's going down. Again, a little bit messy, but we're currently going down. The problem with these guys, once price action starts condensing like this and it's near bottoms, price actions it's not always the best. So far I don't have anything for it, but more and more I'm seeing when there's multiple pivots, not crystalline, but in the sense that there's a lot of action. And then this is happening. I don't know. Doesn't seem like it works out as much. All right, so I was seeing this blue swing, 1, 2. Saw this as kind of an expansion, minor into major. This was a clear swap zone swap. This is where they swapped it from. Left side entry. Tried to go and couldn't. Nothing can be done. Management under here. Not really. Over this pivot. Overall, I think the trade's fine. Didn't work out. Fair enough. Over here, we have another no fill. Did this go target? I think this eventually went to targets. Didn't quite go right away. Kind of drifted. So maybe there was a measured move that took precedent. Anyways, what ended up happening? We have a confirmed swing. Does it here? Kind of going. And then I'm like, well, is this an expansion or is this more of a standard idea? This is kind of it's in between. This one's really hard to say. Anyways, no fill, and it continued going forward. Over here, this is just an idea on the NQ, potentially taking this trade, very similar to the ES expansion trade I took. So 1, 2 waves. This one's a bit more crystalline. This is one of those subtle swing entries where I don't particularly like. I don't like it. I did it, but the only difference here is maybe there's a one-line balance, but still, I don't think this is a great idea. Why? Because it's subtle swings, and I don't like doing subtle swings, personally. Maybe there's something to be said about this, about building a base. I remember taking a few trades based on this, but in the opposite direction. So trying to go long, trying to consider this a wash of the base, going long right here with a stop behind the wash, or what I deemed the wash, and it continued lower. So maybe this type of thing where it has some, one pivot here, kind of this minor or micro, comes revisit it once, twice. Call this kind of a fake level, if you will. A level that got tested multiple times with different types of frequencies. So kind of the initial frequency. Don't know. Arguably, this is where the swap started. So that's interesting too, right? You have it going down, boom, comes back up, swap, gets confirmed, goes up. Does it hold it? No. Come back, take the short, subtle swing. So maybe everything in here is enough to confirm or to legitimize the subtle swing entry type. The subtle swing entry type in conjunction with an expanded swing needs a bit more. Is this enough more? Not too sure. So we'll keep that in mind and continue going forward with it. All right, so that was the end of the review. To sum up the comments, mean reverting ideas, unless in support of a 20-minute POC, go for conservative targets. Specifically talking about this trade right here. It's not necessarily a reversal or a big reversal. So conservative targets. All right, guys, that'll be all for today. Till next time, adios.